Happy Halloween, everybody. You know, we all have that one or two unpopular opinions that we are afraid to share with the public. I have them, you have them, your grandma has them, pretty much everyone their mother has them. For example,
I honestly thought Jupiter Ascending was a pretty fun movie.
The Lion King remake is severely underappreciated.
I think that Return to Oz is clearly the superior Oz film to The Wizard of Oz. You know, the one with Judy Garland. I never really got into it.
yeah, unpopular opinions do pop up frequently, especially us movie reviewers. But we gotta keep in mind that it's all subjective and it doesn't determine your likes and dislikes towards a certain film. So with that being said, am I the only one who prefers the remake of Night of the Living Dead over the original?
You like the remake more than the original. But no, seriously. What?
Chewie, did you hear what he said? He likes a remake more than the original. I know, right? That is the stupidest thing you've ever heard.
You like the remake better than the original? How could you?
Okay, it's just an opinion, guys. No need to freak out. Hey!
Could you reevaluate the opinion, Sonny?
I'll explain, just hear me out. While the original Night of the Living Dead is a classic in its own right, I feel like the remake has a slighter upper hand in terms of execution. And look, I love the original Night of the Living Dead, I really do. But as much as I've grown to appreciate the original, I must admit that the remake has done a lot of other things that are better than what the original accomplished. So bear in mind, I don't hate the original, I just think the remake is slightly better. And to prove that, here are my top 5 reasons why the remake is better than the original. So, sit back, relax, write a nasty comment on my YouTube video without even seeing it. Okay. This is my top 5 reasons why Night of the Living Dead, the remake, is better than the original. Number 5, Tom Savini's beautiful directing. Did you know that this is Tom Savini's first directorial debut into movies? While he directed a few episodes of Tales from the Dark Side, Tom Savini was more associated with being a special effects artist rather than a director. Originally, George A. Romero was going to direct the remake, but handed the project over to Tom Savini. And boy did he delivered. Seriously, this guy has a perfect eye for composition. Like, you can pause the movie in any given frame and it will still look like art. In fact, you can debatably say that this is objectively better than Romero's directing in the original. While the original did have a few good shots here and there, most of the time it looks like it was shot for a college film festival. But to be fair, this was his passion project going out of college, so I'll give him a pass on that one. However, the remake definitely improved upon the original with stunning visuals that are appealing to the eye. George, I love you, buddy, but Tom's directing is a lot better than yours. Number 4. Those little twists and turns that keeps things fresh. Okay, so it's pretty clear that the majority of people have seen the original Night of the Living Dead. It's in the public domain, so it's easy to access a copy of the movie. Tom Savini realized this while directing the remake and decided to spice things up with a few minor changes from the original. The beginning scene alone is a good indicator that we're gonna get something new and different. In the original movie, the two siblings mistake the zombie for an old man, which causes them to get attacked. In the remake, however, they try something a little bit different. This time, instead of a zombie, it was just an old man spewing out nonsense.
I'm sorry. Very sorry.
Hey man, are you okay? Is there something we can do to help? It's weird, huh?
Wow, now that's what I call a jump scare. And from that point on, we get the same story beats, but with many twists and turns. My favorite part has to be the scene where they're getting gas for the truck. While trying to find the key for the gas tank, one of the couples decided to shoot the lock off the gas chamber, which causes an explosion. Yeah, sure, you can argue that this guy was being stupid by shooting something flammable, but the original scene was just about as hokey as it can be. Seriously, how do you screw up something as simple as putting gas in your car? But it's later revealed that the key was hanging in the basement this whole time. There's also a few callbacks from the original, and there's also a few Easter eggs here and there. And I could talk about how the ending of the remake was an improvement over the original, but I'm gonna reserve it till I get to my number 1 spot. Number 3. That sweet, sweet blood and gore. You know what's the biggest advantage of a special effects artist directing your movie? They can actually shoot the scene where the special effects look far more convincing than an actual director. While the original did have a few good shots where there's blood and gore present, the remake goes the extra mile when it comes to the gruesome effects. But maybe they went a little bit too far with the blood and gore. In fact, the movie was so close to getting an X rating, but they unfortunately had to cut down a few scenes to get to that R rating that they were going for. But for what they can get away with, they totally earned that R rating while going straight for the jugular, both literally and figuratively. Number 2. The downright perfect casting. Okay, let me just make this one thing clear. There is not a single weak performance in this remake whatsoever. While the original cast performances were hit and miss at times, the remake's casting is absolutely solid. Tony Todd does an amazing job as always. The couple's performances don't get on your nerves as much as the original. And even the guy who plays Henry Cooper is just as despicable as ever. This is a guy who you love to hate because of how weaselly he is. Not to say that the original Cooper wasn't as weaselly as well, but this guy takes crookedness to the next level, even to the point where it's so satisfying to see him get his comeuppance. But there was one character that needed a drastic upgrade. It will be the character that is on my number 1 spot. And the number 1 reason why the remake is better than the original is Barbara finally does something. Yeah, you think Bella from Twilight is freaking useless? We'll meet someone who is the definition of damsel in distress. Now, I've heard people defend her character by saying that she's still shell-shocked by what happened, but she stays in the same exact state of shock throughout the whole entire movie. The remake's version of Barbara does go into shock about what happened, but later on in the film, she learns to suck it up and put on her big girl britches, quite literally. The original just stares into space and does nothing throughout the whole entire movie, but the remake's like, screw that noise, I'm gonna go Ellen Ripley on these zombies. The reason why I like Barbara so much in this version instead of the other one is because she grows as a character. She's not just there for some body count or anything, she's there because she has a legitimate character arc. And by the end of the movie, where she's taken the Logan Paul's filming location, she realizes that the zombies are not so different from the humans.
They're us. We're them, they're us.
She even makes this more clear when she says this after killing Cooper.
There's another one for the fire.
I guess if you like your female characters to be zombie appetizers, this one would definitely be for you. But for me, however, I'm gonna stick with the more grounded and relatable Barbara. And that was my top 5 reasons why the remake is better than the original. And despite the fact that I prefer the remake over the original, I kind of have a soft spot for the original Night of the Living Dead. Was it a perfect movie? No. Does it deserve to be a classic? That's kind of debatable, but I wouldn't put it on a higher pedestal like everyone else does. It definitely has its place in the horror genre, but I just prefer the remake overall. Heck, I can even say that this is up there with John Carpenter's The Thing. I mean, think about it. They're both bloodier than the original, they both improve and expand on the characters, and both of them are able to bring something new and unique to the table. So why does John Carpenter's The Thing get a lot of praise, but this film doesn't? I think it's because of one or two reasons. Either people are too nostalgia blind for the original, or they like the creepy vibe that the film was going for. And while I do admit that I like the atmosphere it has and how impressive it is in terms of low budget filmmaking, I would admit that this had a lot of rough edges that needed to be smoothened out. Sure, the remake replaced the creepy vibe with more of an action oriented vibe, but for what it lacks in, they make up with better characters, bloodier scenes, and relatable storytelling. And those things are more important than just atmosphere. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Anyway guys, thank you for watching, happy Halloween, and I will see you next time. Take care.